Hello, my name is Austin Plummer, and I'm the developer of the WellFed app. Today I'll be discussing the app with you all. We'll talk about some of the functionalities and features of the app, talk about why it was created, first of all, what problem we are here to solve, and also showing you a screenshot of what the application currently looks like, and then addressing some questions that I've had in my app development, as well as some anticipated problems I see as we move forward down the path of developing the app fully. So to start, WellFed was developed to solve America's obesity issue. Simply put on the screen, as you can see, but according to the Trust for American Health, in 2023, almost half the population in the United States had obesity. This is a major issue as this number is continuing to rise. As someone who's a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, I can speak from my own experience and my clients' experience, as well as what I've studied in my courses and research I've done on my own. You can't outwork your diet. No matter how hard you try to work in the gym, no matter what you do outside of the kitchen, none of it is going to matter if you're not doing what you need to do in the kitchen. And so being able to help Americans develop that balance between healthy eating and lifestyle is what WellFed is here to do. It's here to help them simplify that process to kind of build it into their regular day-to-day lifestyle habits, rather than having that fast-paced lifestyle that we all experience at one point or another dictate what we're eating and how we're influencing our health. And so being able to provide users with a tool that will help them to eat healthier while also sticking to their day-to-day lifestyle and not having to drastically change things that discourage them from eating healthy. So the data that's being used in this application comes from the USDA's food nutrition dataset. So this has over hundreds of thousands of different food items within it, and each food item is given its nutritional value as well. So the associated nutritional values like calories, protein, fat, sugar, fiber, all those things are all included. I simplified this down to include 30 common household ingredients so that I can do a proof of concept of the app before delving into more and more complex data. Next, I found a public recipe data set on Kaggle, which has over 1 million recipes, but I cut it down to about 5,000 used, and these are just the recipes that use the ingredients that I included from the USDA data set. So I basically filtered out to only include those ingredients, and so this will allow me to, again, do a proof of concept on the app before delving way too deep into all the complexities of data. So to show you a screenshot of the app, this is what it currently looks like. So we'll see here over here on the right hand side, I've set up this checklist on the side panel of the application for users to select from the common ingredients that I've selected. And what they will do is select which ingredients they have available to them. And then this table over on the right hand side will show them the recipes that include those ingredients. And so you'll see here I've selected almond, and all these recipes include almonds in them. So this allows users to collect the ingredients they have available and then select and see which recipes they have available to them based on the data set we have. And a user can then click on this recipe and it will take them to the recipe information page where they can see all of the nutritional values for each of the foods. They can see the instructions for how to make the recipe and be able to log the recipe into their meal log for the day if they have eaten it. And what they'll also be able to do is go into this personal information tab up here and be able to input their own personal information, so like their height, weight, age, and other biometric information, and be able to calculate their daily recommended intake so that they can align this food goal of each recipe they log for the day with the goals they have for themselves for that day as well. So kind of being able to build in that food tracking system for the user. That's currently where the app stands, and more functionality is continuing to be built out. So some of the main app features, as I kind of just showed, but I'll summarize here. First, building nutritional profiles of meals, so being able to take the ingredients in each of those recipes and then being able to calculate what the overall nutritional profile of that meal is. So if you're using almonds, let's say apples is another common one I have on my list. If you're making a recipe with those two, you can add the components of each of those elements, these are those recipe ingredients, into the nutritional profile of that meal. Next, calculating personal nutritional recommendations. So being able to allow users to put in their personal information and have essentially a meal plan built for them, so that recipes that meet their nutritional profile, their nutritional goals, will be able to be added to their queue for recipes of the day, so they can align with their goals while not having to worry too much about thinking what to make that day, but also learning how the user kind of eats on a regular basis and building out recommendations for those recipes for them as well. Lastly, matching ingredients to recipes. As you saw, the functionality where we're able to click the ingredients on the left-hand side panel and match that to the recipes on the right-hand side. being able to find recipes that fit that nutritional profile or those ingredients that we selected. So lastly, some questions and anticipated problems. When I was building my app, I was struggling to decide which functionalities should go on the side panel versus the main panel. I have that checklist on the side, but I felt like I wanted to put the input buttons for the personal information on the side panel. I decided to do a new tab, but I was curious as how you all did that or made that decision in your apps. Just kind of see some suggestions there. I'm also trying to figure out if you all considered how to take user input to add to your data set. So my goal here is to be able to allow users to input new recipes as they find them, or or even people who are like social media people who want to input recipes and have a platform for them, being able to take that information in and make sure that it aligns with the data set and doesn't mess up my data. So just if you all have considered any of that, let me know what you thought. But problems I anticipate with my app are maintaining inclusivity and variety in recipes. So being able to just be diverse in the cultures and different food styles and different dietary restrictions, just making sure the recipes fit for everyone. Figuring out how to log that recipe data, I haven't done it quite yet. So when a user goes in and selects a recipe and wants to log it into their daily log, I want to figure out how to do that. Had some troubles with that so far. Then lastly, conversion of food units. So the USDA does everything in grams as it stands. And so being able to convert in the recipes that not everything done in grams, some things are done in ounces or tablespoons and such. So making sure that my conversions are right and being able to map those foods to the actual nutritional profiles of the ingredients. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Thank you all for taking some time to listen and looking forward to seeing all of your apps as well.